was already in the lunch line, and I guess you could say I was kind of a bad boy during that time. And what I would do is I would be late coming to lunch, so I would uh, cut the line. I would get in front of people, and what I would do is walk down the lunch line, and when the hall monitor looks up, I jump in line because everybody knew who Dennis Taylor was. So when when the hall monitor looked up, I jumped in line, and what I would do, I would turn around and greet the person that I cut line in front of and ask them, was it all right? And it just so happened this particular day, I cut in front of this beautiful lady. And when I turned around, I looked and uh, asked her, was it okay? And she just politely smiled, and she didn't know who I was. And I didn't know who she was. And but her girlfriend was a friend of both of ours, and she introduced us at that time. And the same thing happened later that week. And I said to myself, I said, I must need to know who she is. So I got a phone number and asked her, could I call her? And she said yes. And from that time on, we've been together.
When we got ready to have our third child, we had two girls, and I was very pleased to have two girls, and so I was very happy with that. But he wanted a son. He just really wanted a son, and I couldn't talk him out of it. So he said he had prayed and prayed and prayed, and the Lord had showed him that we were going to have a son. So, I was a little leery, and I think the doctors were working with him, and the next thing you know, I was pregnant. And so he goes out and tells everybody, I know it's a son, I know it's a son. My mom said, oh, no, we have 5 girls in our family. There's a possibility it's another girl. And so as time went on, and I worked all the way up to the night he was going to be born. I was at PTA meeting. Just regular meeting. It was probably 2 weeks before the due date. And all of a sudden, my water broke. And I was probably on a couple of blocks from DCH, so that made it really easy. I just kind of whispered to the person next to me if she would stand behind me and follow me out so that I could, ease off and, and get in my car and drive over to DCH. And, boy, when I got back to school, I was the talk of the school. That was the first time anyone had gone into labor at PTA meeting or at that school at any time. So they kind of named the DJ, turned out to be a boy, as the baby that was born at the PTA at University Place School.
Yeah.
And they always reminded me of that. Yeah, you had that baby that night.
When you keep God as your primary focus in it, the centerpiece of your life, then everything else is going to be all right. And that's my true belief. If God is the centerpiece, if your wife is a Christian, born again Christian, and you are born again Christian, and you got God, no doubt there's no doubt that you can't make it, no matter how big the storm is, no matter what opposition comes against you, you'll be able to stand. I believe that.